Hey guys, this is Lord Natsu here, and today I'll be doing pretty much every part of the movie in this part for when the Spider-Man got sucked into the Spider-Verse. So yeah. Now we start off where Izuku pretty much got sucked into the portal. And right before the portal closed, he said, "Travis, send this to everyone." And yeah, Jarvis immediately did it. And yeah, and pretty much everyone saw it. And Stan's like, "What?" And he looked at it for a few seconds. He looked at the things that Izuku saw inside this portal, and he saw alternate versions of alternate Spider-Man. It's like alternate universes. I mean, pretty much. Mechanic, pretty much the one that Izuku sees as a brother, Eri. And man go like, "Wait, what?" It's like Strange just explains that Izuku must have been sucked into a portal that ran into another universe or timeline. Basically, a timeline or universe that is kind of like ours, but also different. And pretty much, or he's like, is Daddy gonna be okay? And Sting's like, he'll be just fine, Eri. It'll just probably take him a while to get back. Alright? It's like, okay. And yeah. Now we skip to Izuku's perspective. And Izuku is pretty much going through the portal, and he sees one thing. Miles Morales. And excuse me, sorry about that. Anyway, Izuku sees while he's going through the portal a black person, which is Miles Morales. And he also sees an alternate version of his Peter, which is exactly his Peter, but died in a different way. He sees that he gets killed by someone by King that looks crazy big. And he's like, no. And he sees he's getting sucked towards that timeline. He knows what universes and timelines are. And he sees that he's getting towards his alternate timeline. Like, an alternate timeline to his. So he's like, no. And yeah, then he gets sucked in. And he gets dropped right at the very top of pretty much at the top of basically the tallest building in that area. So yeah, Shuki's like, no, and then he waits a day, and he sees Peter Parker dead. He's like, no, not again. And then we skip to where Miles Morales finds the Peter Parker that we all know and love from the original, pretty much the original Spider-Man, but is a fatty, little chubby. And yeah, and Izuku has been spying on this person. And while Izuku wasn't in this timeline, he's basically has crafted a tracker So basically, that trucker helps him find. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, Suku finds a pretty much makes a tracker. No, just makes a type of watch that basically helps him find all his trackers in this timeline. So basically, yeah, something that looks like a watch, but also has a screen that helps him find every tracker he makes in this or has in this timeline, which he has all of his. So yeah. And Izuku just and yeah, when that Spider-Man, that Peter Parker, yeah, Izuku is just watching them in the dark, like just invisible. No one can see him. Oh, and yeah, he does have like 100 pair of spider, like basically spider swing, yeah, web shooters, and he has basically all of them are to just shrink to the just go to the right size for each person they're placed on. So yeah, that's perfect. Now we skip to, yeah, and Izuku's been watching Miles and this Spider-Man the whole time. He's not helping them one bit. But, yeah, when he sees this Aunt May, he can't help but smile a little bit. But he knows this ain't his Miles Parker. Well, May Parker. Now his face looks more like a serious person. He doesn't have that baby face anymore. That is long gone. So yeah. Zuko just walks into Peter Parker's base, and Zuko has a perfect copy of May's key for that shelter, for that shed. So yeah, Zuko, right after they finally get down there and it's finished, Zuko opens the lock. Before Miles could even go, they just hear the shed door opening without Miles even moving. And May's like, wait, what? Because yeah, she doesn't know that, and yeah, then they just see someone coming down with their arms crossed. Basically, they see someone with pretty much Zuko in his vigilante outfit. He's pretty much in his vigilante outfit with the cape. With that cape thing. Yeah, that lab coat thing he has on. He's basically using that one. And basically he's the one that's coming down. And basically he opened the shed door and pretty much walked inside. And pretty much that levitating thing just brings him down. And everybody sees another Spider-Man come in. And he's like, so these are the Spider-Men of these universes. Interesting. And pretty much, they ask his backstory, and it's like, tell me yours first, then I'll tell you mine. And they pretty much tell him their backstory, and he's like, That's funny. So these things in mind. So these universes don't have quirks. Good. That is perfect for me. And she was like, first, allow me to do this. And he closes his eyes for a second, and then the costume just immediately goes away into a bracelet. Yeah, it's his ultimate. Basically, it's his ultimate Shadow Spider suit. And it pretty much goes into his bracelet. And they see that he's not Peter Parker. Or someone by the name of Miles Morales. Suku just says, allow me to introduce myself. Suku Midoriya. And you. Our universes are very closely alike. And yeah, he's looking directly at Miles. And he's like, wait, what? It's like, yes. Almost perfectly alike. Except a few things are different. Like, for example, there are powers called quirks that most of the population are born with. And they're like, okay, what? He has a completely different world. It's like, and your Kingpin in your universe doesn't exist in mine. But the same thing happened. Our Peters died. So that gives me the idea that our timelines are almost exactly the same. Now, let me tell you my story. We will start this. Now, where should I start? Oh yes, the very beginning, where you guys didn't even start. My childhood. And they're like, oh, okay, here we go. And then he just tells them his entire backstory. And yeah, they're like, oh shit. He had one way worse than others. And he's like, and that's my story. And yeah, he's pretty much gotten to the point where, yeah, he's seen he pretty much is at the point where all his, yeah, he pretty much told them up to the part of now to where he is now. It's like, so I'm guessing that your Peter was the same, May Parker. And she's like, exactly like that. And it's like, I was right then. It's like, it's truly sad how the way he went out. At least it was better than the one in my timeline. Now, I ask you this. Why do you berate a kid? He's literally only like, I don't know, the age for a college student? And you're berating him for that? Seriously, how old are you? You seriously shouldn't be berating someone that, pretty sure, almost like a week ago got his powers. So, why are you berating someone that almost literally got their powers a day or a week ago? And they're like, and she was like, that's what I thought. And she was like, now, Miles, am I right? And it's like, yeah. Well, Miles, don't listen to them. As far as I know, they're idiots. That Peter Parker, though, not so much. And he's like, hey, it's like, my Peter was smarter than you, so shut up. And he's like, oh, yeah. Now, let's see. Now, Miles. Miles, I see that if you see me again, the next time we meet each other, I will be giving you something. Now, I bid you farewell. And he pretty much just turns invisible. And Miles like, wait, what? What? It's like, and she was like, since you're an alternate timeline of me, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have some of my powers. I will see you another time. And then he leaves. And yeah, everyone's surprised on how skilled this person is. It's like he is he's way better than them. Which he is. He can easily defeat any of the villains that they take down. Now, we're gonna skip to before Miles broke free of that chair thing. And she was like, it is time. Because he put a trigger on Miles to basically make it so he'll figure out when he's starting to. Yeah, this tracker also tells the user, the owner of this tracker, if someone's using some type of power, either if it's work or not. And it's like he's finally learning how to use it, and he knows exactly which one it is because he's basically made it so he can find out which types of powers this person is using, like electricity, invisibility, stuff like that. And he's like, it is time. And he pretty much went down there. And May's like, so what are you doing here? It's like, it is time for the boy. He should be coming down here in not too long. And then a minute later, we see Miles coming down. And, well, pretty much, May and Zuko, like, took you long. Pretty much, Zuko's just looking, pretty much have his back turned towards, pretty much his back facing May. And both of them just say, took you long enough. And Zuko just turns around. It's like, Miles, here. And he grabs a bracelet that is black and red. It's like, here. And it has only one button on it. It's like, here, catch. And Miles catches it and he's like, what's this? It's like, you'll find out. Put it on and you'll see. Now, place it on your wrist and tell me if you feel anything different. And he places it on his wrist and he's like, yeah, I feel something wrong with my hand. It's like, good, it worked. Now, push the button and think of the ultimate, pretty much think ultimate Spider-Man. And he thinks that, and then May and Miles see pretty much what Miles made, Miles' version of the suit. Pretty much they see nanomachines start to squirt out of the bracelet and go into Miles. And they're like, he's like, oh, it's nanomachines. Once you let them finish, you'll see what they've done, what I've given you. And yeah. Yeah, when they're finished, it shows the one that Miles made. The type of suit Miles made. And she was like, there you go. I have made you. I have given you your suit. And it should have web shooters for you. Or, if it doesn't, here. And he pretty much opens one of his pouches on his belt and grabs a pair of web shooters and tosses the web shooters towards Miles, and Miles puts them on. And he's like, good. No, they should shrink to your size. Since my breasts are bigger than yours. And they do. Good. Now, let us go. And then that scene with Miles going off that roof happens. But Zuko's just standing there, pretty much standing on the wall of that building. And she was like, "Are you ready, Miles?" And he's like, "Sure." He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Good. Now, it's just a leap of faith for this." And then she just lets himself go, and Miles just jumps up. And she was like, "Now, angle yourself perfectly, Miles." He's basically telling him this while he's basically doing an upside down pencil. And yeah, Miles finally done it, and he's like, "Good. Now, get ready to swing." And he's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Then they swing towards that, basically swing to that point where Miles stopped. They're like, "Are you good, Miles?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Just getting used to this. Good. Now, let us go." And then they go. Now we skip to the perspective of those 5 Spider-Men, and yeah, they just pretty much do the same thing. But then when Peter's about to be taken, pretty much when that Peter Parker gets to that same situation, basically, instead of one of the tentacles getting held by someone, 2 of them are held by someone. And basically, both of them just punch her. Basically, both of her tentacles punch her. Yeah. And then, yeah. Basically, yeah. Zuko and Miles are basically hitting her. Then, both of them show themselves and basically punch her at the same time. And goes like, "Good job, Miles. Good job, Spider-Man. Now, let's go." And yeah, then but Spider-Man is like, "Whoa, what the heck?" It's like, Miles. It's like, basically, Miles does the same thing, and he was like, basically, it's the same thing. But yeah, Zuko's only getting glitches only a little bit, because yeah, this is only an alternate timeline from his. So yeah, Zuko is like basically said, yeah. Basically everyone goes, but then when Peter Parker goes, Zuko is not leaving yet. And Miles like, "Why aren't you leaving yet?" It's like, Don't you need help, little one? And plus, it's not my time to leave yet. My timeline hasn't showed up yet. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, don't you see it? And yeah, it hasn't shown up yet. It will though. It's like, oh yeah, it hasn't. It's good. Now, let me help you beat this Kingpin. And yeah, then the fight scene with Kingpin is basically both of them attacking Kingpin. And Kingpin, yeah, and she was just making himself invisible for the whole time. And Kingpin can't see him or notice him. So yeah. It seems like it's just one person, but it's actually two people fighting Kingpin. So yeah. Yeah, then right when Miles gets punched down, Miles gets back up and does that thing. And then Zuko sees his open. It's like he just shows his face and goes like, Miles, you will make a great Spider-Man. Now, I must take my leave. It's like, farewell. He pretty much jumps off and goes towards his portal. And yeah, Miles was perfectly fine. Okay, yeah. Miles finished off Kingpin. Then, okay, yeah, so Miles and he defeated Kingpin. Now we get to Zuko. And he's heading back to his timeline. And yeah, then when he gets there, pretty much lands in the main area. It's like, oh. And pretty much every area in the Makai are like, Zuko, pretty much. You know, he's like, Daddy, Dad, and Nakai is like, Zuko, and pretty much, yeah. They pretty much ask if he's okay, and he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And they ask, where did that portal take him? It's like, to an alternate universe. It's like, what was that universe like? It's like, almost the same, but one, quirks didn't exist there, and two, I probably didn't exist there, so Miles Morales got someone by the name of Miles Morales got those powers. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah. And yeah, he tells May Parker and Stain what happened as well, and they're like, holy crap. It's like, yeah. Yeah, but only those ones are gonna find out what happened. Except Nasha eventually. And yeah, then we skip to that thing against all the schools of all the hero schools. And yeah, when A wins, basically everything that happened, the same almost happened. But when she tried to do it with pretty much that girl that changed into Roka. Yeah, that didn't work on Ichigo. It just went like, He pretty much just turned invisible, and everything on him turned invisible. And he just went like, because yeah, he can do that easily. Yeah, basically, Suku won it easily. So, yeah. Now we're gonna, oh, and I'm gonna go over that, basically the part where you have to fight. Basically where people thought you would be fighting robots, but instead you fought heroes. And basically it's Nasha and Zuku versus All Might, and yeah, they went easily. Well, Zuku's far stronger than All Might by leagues. And Nasha just has Nana Shimura's quirk. Yeah, and just gonna say this. Every time this, basically, Seku just never bothered to look at 1B. You just mind it. He always minds his own business. So yeah. And now we're gonna go to when we're gonna go to the final test. Actually, no, we're just gonna skip. Now, we skip many years later. And Zuku Midoriya, aka Demon Shadow, is the #1 hero. And is married to Nasha Shimura. And they have a kid named Nana Shimura. And yeah. But actually no, they don't have a kid. Yeah, they have another kid. Basically, Zuku still raises Eri, and Eri goes to school, starts going to school, and they have a daughter named Shimura. So yeah, and that's where I'm gonna end this story off. Anyway, if you like this story, like, subscribe, and comment for more. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.